Eagle Nation, we got about 3 weeks until free agency is open, but today we're going to focus on the defensive side. So, Philly Mike is going to tell you who I'm looking at, and of course, I want to know who you're looking at.
This is Philly Talk with Philly Mike. Talking sixes in the bird gang, that's I like. Competition, we ain't scared, yeah, that's what we like. Win or lose, you know we showing up and we gon' fight. You see we strive for the sky every day that go by. And every single week we screaming fly, eagles fly. This is Philly Talk with Philly Mike, yeah. This is Philly Talk with Philly Mike, yeah.
What is going on, everybody? I go by Philly Mike, and this is the Philly Talk Podcast. And today we are talking free agency, particularly on the defensive side. We'll talk offense in the next few days, but we're going to stick with defense. And as most of you know, March 16th is when it's officially open. You can go out and sign whoever you want as long as you come to the actual deal. But March 14th, 2 days before, is the legal tampering window. And for those who don't know, March 14th is your boy's birthday. So Howie Roseman, do me a solid and give me somebody from my defensive list and my offensive list that we won't talk today. But before we get into it, help your boy out and hit that like button, subscribe if you are new, and ding that notification bell so you know when these videos drop.
Keep that roots going, baby!
Roots on three. 1, 2, 3, roots. I mean, what free agent don't want to get in a locker room where you're putting your hands up and talking about roots? I would if I was a free agent. So let's go to my first one, and I think a lot of people been eyeing him up. That is Marcus Williams, the safety out of New Orleans. They can't sign him back. They're going to have a hard time keeping the players they already got. Let's get a little recap of what the NFL thinks about him. Williams played the 2021 season on the franchise tag and is now looking to hit the open market after another solid season in New Orleans. He defended 8 passes this past year and had a career-high 74 tackles while allowing opposing quarterbacks to complete just 48.8% of their targets thrown in his direction. He's also been remarkably durable over his career and played 98% of the defensive snaps for the Saints in 2021. At the age of 25 years old, Williams should have plenty of suitors ranging from contenders to teams looking to build upon their budding secondary, which will likely make him one of the highest paid safeties in the league. Now, again, depending what we do at quarterback, which is still something we're going to have to think about later when rumors start to come out, real rumors. We got the bread. If Jalen Hurts is the quarterback, which I believe he's going to be, we got the bread. And I remember the Eagles getting a safety from the Saints. What's his name? Oh, yeah, Malcolm Jenkins. And he did great things for the Philadelphia Eagles. He's actually still over there in New Orleans doing pretty good stuff. This is a guy I really, really want the Eagles to look at because the draft is going to be defensive heavy, I believe. Linebackers are going to be there. Edge rushers, young edge rushers are going to be there. Offensive linemen, if we do go offense, wide receivers, all things Howie Roseman can do, right? However, safety is going to be that spot where I don't know how early he attacks it and where we're going to go with who's going to be left on the board. So if you get a veteran guy who's still only 25, he fits the mold of the Philadelphia Eagles' growth. Let's look at the next one. Another safety. If you can't get Marcus Williams, a shout out to my guy, iShine. Hope you're watching this. I looked more into Jesse Bates. This is the safety from Cincinnati Bengals. Although I don't think they'll allow him to go, we can make a run for him. Bates was one of the key members of the Bengals Super Bowl run this season and particularly turned up his level of play in the playoffs. During that Super Bowl run, Bates, who is already considered one of the better safeties in the league, totaled 20 tackles, defended 6 passes, and recorded 2 interceptions while he was able to improve his play as the season went on. He did struggle in coverage a bit over the regular season as quarterbacks completed 80% of their passes thrown his direction. Still, Bates is someone Cincinnati should look to make a priority of keeping as it builds the core around Joe Burrow. But if the Bengals do let him test free agency, he'll have plenty of teams interested in his services to bolster the back end of their secondaries. And again, early in the season, the Bengals were trying to find themselves on defense, including Jesse Bates. I'm looking at what he's done down the stretch against better competition as the defense kind of felt themselves and they went on their run. Not only was it their offense, their defense was low key doing some things. And you got to understand, guys like Eli Apple was also in that secondary who was okay. Jesse Bates, when it comes to safety, is a guy I would look at if you can't go out and get Marcus Williams. Again, you don't get none of these guys. The draft still has safeties available, but we will have to see where that goes. Looking at the next one, we're going to go still in the secondary, but now we're going to switch to cornerback J.C. Jackson. I'm not sure where the Patriots are going to be at money-wise. I don't think they let him go, but if he finds a way, let's see. Jackson has been one of the better cornerbacks in the NFL since coming into the league as a, I repeat, undrafted free agent in 2018. He's also been one of the biggest bargains for the Patriots as Jackson played the 2021 season on a second-round restricted free agent tender that was valued at just under $3.4 million this past season. Jackson became New England's top corner following the departure of Stephon Gilmore and continued to play at a high level. He totaled a league-leading 23 pass breakups and had 8 interceptions. He also allowed just 49.1% of the targets thrown his way to be completed. That level of production should lead Jackson making top of the market money once free agent opens up. Now, here's the thing. You would think New England will keep that guy, but New England does not like to pay top dollar for their corners. That's why they eventually let longtime Eagle, ex-Patriot Asante Samuels go. But here's the thing. Was it Belichick's system that made J.C. Jackson look good? Or is J.C. Jackson good? That's the risk you're going to take. You're going to need your scouts. You're going to need your people to do their due diligence. Again, 8 interceptions, 23 pass breakups is incredible. And if you pair him alongside of Slay, well, you can still grab a corner. Khair Elam out of Florida State, right? Booth out of Clemson. But now the role is less significant and they could grow. They don't got to go out there on an island and deal with the Jamar Chases or the, A.J. Browns in Tennessee, the number 1 wide receivers, and get cooked and kind of lose their confidence. They can slowly find their role. And as I talk multiple times, you can never have enough cornerbacks for the simple fact it's a passing league. If the quarterback is important and the receivers are important, the players defending them got to be important too. And we were pretty much healthy last year, but you never know. J.C. Jackson, again, depending on how much money we got, close to $40 million, we might be able to throw a bag his way. Last but not least, let's look at another guy, not last but not least, my bad, Carlton Davis, cornerback out of Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They are strapped for money too. This is a young player. See, if you haven't noticed, Philly Mike's free agency list, not too many older guys, right? The Chandler Jones, they're tempted to talk about, but I want guys who can make an impact now and also grow with us. Davis is one of the few young cornerbacks hitting the free agent market this offseason, so he'll garner plenty of attention throughout the league. The Bucs' former second-round pick can be a true number 1. We only need him to be a number 2, and has the physicality to play man coverage and square off against a team's top receiver option. He was limited to only 10 games in the regular season due to a quad injury, but was able to return late in the year to help the Bucs land the postseason. Over the stretch, the 25-year-old defended 11 passes and recorded 1 pick while allowing 57.1% of his targets to be completed. This is going to be a cheaper option than J.C. Jackson, but he's 25. Could you imagine him alongside of Slay, learning from Slay? You got Slay, the 31-year, who I think we should extend 2 years. You got 25-year-old Carlton Davis and one of these draftees. Oh, my God, can you talk about defense looking good? We still got to talk about the defensive ends and the linebackers, but a secondary that I'm going to say I like it a lot. Who knows what's going to happen with Anthony Harris, Ronnie McLeod, and Steven Nelson. That's cornerback 2, safety 1, safety 2. Think about that. Safety 1, safety 2, and cornerback 2 are all free agents as well. So you either bring them back on a cheap deal, try to fill it with day 1 starters in the draft, or you get good guys to grow with you. Carlton Davis might be a little bit more realistic and more important to me because of how realistic is than JC Jackson, who I think would make a terrific corner as well. Last but not least, a young pass rusher. He's not the greatest in the world. He's not the Chandler Jones or the Von Millers by name, but let's go with Emmanuel Ogbah, right? And I can say his name, Emmanuel Ogbah. I finally can say a name. After moving around the league to begin his career, he's playing with the Dolphins now, also play with the Chiefs. Ogbah seemed to find his footing over the last 2 seasons, so that shows the consistency. For the Dolphins, he posted back-to-back, not just one, but back-to-back seasons with 9 sacks and at least 36 pressures in 2021. He's also defended 12 passes. While he may not be considered an elite at his position, Ogbah is an ascending player that can be productive in the right position, right situation. So it's a younger pass rusher. He's not 30. I think he's like 20. Don't quote me on this, but he's in the 20s, but he's not 30. He's like 26, 27 years old. Back-to-back 9 sack seasons while also getting 36 pressures and 12 passes defended. So depending if we do go to that 3-4, he could drop back in zone, do a lot of things, right? Jonathan Gannon is dropping Derek Barnett in coverage. He's not supposed to. Maybe a guy like Emmanuel Ogbah can be that versatile player who can do that. That's not me telling the Eagles not to go draft the dude out of Purdue or the dude out of Michigan or a guy like Jermaine Johnson. Any of these guys, a Bakiti from Penn State, you still got to get youth pass rushers because Fletch and BG are on its way out. But you can always use another pass rusher, cornerback, more the merrier, edge rusher, the more the merrier. So you can get a guy like Emmanuel Ogbah, who's a solid 8 to 10 sacks alongside of Josh Sweat, alongside of BG coming back. Fletch, we'll figure out what he does. Milton Williams, and then you add the youth, whether it's inside and outside. I'm just saying, you don't have to strictly use free agency for offense. I know we want to talk offensive weapons being wide receivers, DJ Chark, Mike Williams, Allen Robinson, Chris Godwin, and I would take a shot on any of them. But if you can get some of these defensive players, one of these defensive players come to Philly, and I'm going to say thank you for the birthday gift, Howie Roseman. I appreciate it. With that being said, let me know your thoughts in the comment section when it comes to free agency on the defensive side. How many players do you want? Let's keep it realistic. And let me know who's the best fit. Any one of these guys that you like, or do you want to go out and get a Chandler Jones or a Von Miller or a Stephon Gilmore who's 30 because you think the Eagles are in a different way? Eagle Nation, I love hearing from you. So let me know in the comment section. If you haven't done it by now, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you are new, and that bell is important for the old subscribers and the new ones. And double check the bell because some people are saying that they don't get notifications. And if you don't get the notifications, maybe the bell just tap off. Maybe James Harden rang the bell so much, people's notifications fell off. I don't know. Until next time, y'all know what time it is. We out.